Teaching couples or small groups, which I sort of think of as 3 or maybe 4 people, is a wonderful variant of our job. And I think it strengthens you if you presume that your job is not to give a sequence of short private lessons to a group of people. It obliges you, I think valuably, to develop the language to be able to talk to a group of people from a remote location, in other words, a single spot, and actually by name and using language, be actually able to help them without approaching them as if you were doing a private lesson. So with, let's say, 3 or 4 people, and in fact larger groups, where you stand is quite important. First of all, for a safety perspective, if you've got left-handed golfers in the group, which are usually in the minority, but does happen, always have them to the right, because you never want left-handers to have their backs to a right-handed golfer. 2 golfers back to back is a recipe for some danger. And so the left-handed golfers are to the right, and your job will be to stand where the right and the left-hand people come together. That's a very good spot for you to be able to see everybody in the group. Now, if they're all right-handed, stand opposite the space between the last person on the right and the next person to the right. That seems to be a good spot to be able to see all of the golf swings, and using language and by name actually send information and adjustments as you watch them hit. Now, the thing with couples particularly, and quite often you'll be given the responsibility and the privilege of teaching couples to play golf. It's quite commonly because the gentleman golfer is encouraging his partner to start to play. Not always that way, but quite often. And one of the things that is almost inevitable, my parents were a perfect example of this, is that the gentleman golfer will feel obliged to actually give advice to his partner when they're playing golf. Now, I think it's inevitable, so saying that they should not is unrealistic. But here's what I always tell my couples. Say only the things that you have heard from me vis-a-vis the other person's golf swing on the golf course together, and limit it to only the 3rd time that you want to say it. This is my way of defending some sort of marital bliss, which is a little bit threatened on the golf course. So group lessons are a wonderful thing with small groups, but when you're talking to them from that location that I just described to you, you'll be obliged to come up with a series of ways to express yourself, because the list is not endless. You'll be able to ask somebody to change their left-hand grip and actually be able to do it without having to walk over and grab their hand and twist them. That development of that language is enormously important for your skill as a professional.